Stay ahead of the curve and get updates on the latest trends in politics, government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
Ayodeji Ajishope
and
Adedamola Lafenwa
on from the Dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the Dailies, the conversation never stops.
Tell you there are some things that happen in this country that makes it so difficult for one to really explain what is the motive behind some of these things. I mean, just like the song Dapo played earlier on, It Tire Me. I mean, with what I'm seeing in the breaking news now, it's really getting dramatic. But let me just say, it's from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. I officially welcome you to today's edition. It's the Wednesday edition, the 13th day in the month of August 2025. My name is Adedamola Lafenwa, and I have Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope live in the studio with me. There's a beautiful Wednesday morning.
I tell you, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning in this sprawling city of Ibadan. And I tell you, so much drama.
So much drama. Okay. Well, if it is the first time on the program, this is the program we get to take you through the front page stories of newspapers. And this Wednesday morning, I have about 4 newspapers to look at. Let me start with the Guardian newspaper now. Outrage over Ibom air incident as IG orders Kwamwan's probe. Page 6 of the Guardian as that story. And still looking at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, court strikes out 60 billion naira criminal suit against ex-Amcon boss. Lagos moves to regulate rents, curb abuse with new tenancy bill. Gani Adams faults Kwara killings alert fresh crisis in Southwest. Still talking about insecurity issues, troops kill several terrorists in Borno, failed ambush. Another one, NCOS decries low drug supply, personnel for 8,000 inmates with health needs. Wada Soludo throw weight behind Tinubu for 2027. And the last one I'll be taking on the front page of the Guardian newspaper says reps pushing to make appeal court final judge in Guber poll disputes. A quick look at the front page of the Punch newspaper now. Boko Haram scare. Borno villagers flee, sleep on Cameroon streets, schools. This is very, very disheartening. And when Nigerians are beginning to flee from their motherland or fatherland and seeking refuge in neighboring countries, so much that they are sleeping on the streets of Cameroon and in schools. EFCC targeting David Mark after Tambuwal Iedioa ADC. And another one, court orders FG to close case in Dasuki's decade-old trial. Page 10 of the Punch newspaper has that story. And another one, health sector crisis persists despite 5.4 trillion naira World Bank loans. Let me take a few more stories now. Police probe Kwam1 over Abuja airport misconduct. NBA others condemn Ibom Air over female passengers assault. And moving away from the Punch newspaper now, let's take a quick look at the Nation newspaper rather. And this is, I saw some things earlier this week. Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State, he's been denying allegiance with the new coalition force. He said it a few days ago that he remains a member of the APC. But somebody is saying there that we both conceived the idea of the coalition force together. And who is this person saying that? It's Rotimi Amechi. Amechi, Al Fayemi and I began opposition coalition. And he went further, he said, we started in Nasiru Dano's house. But Fayemi is hitting back, saying, this claims lack basis, says ex-Ekiti governor.
The man doesn't want to be steamrolled. He doesn't want to be steamrolled by government machinery.
Our politicians, they are gradually becoming comedians.
Don't
these days.
just put me in trouble, man.
But this one is saying that why are you now denying this? Okay, moving away from that, Tambuwal EFCC hits back at ADC over unprovoked attack. Let me take a few more stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper now. IG orders probe of Kwam1's Abuja airport infraction. Miss Emerson remains in Kirikiri prison. Okay, moving away from that now. Why I'm supporting Tinubu by Soludo. Moving to the next paper, let me look at the Vanguard newspaper now. Ibom Air Fracas. Comfort begins life at Kirikiri. NBA waits in. 2027, I want to deny Tinubu. We have been friends for 22 years. Soludo. Interesting stories on the front pages of papers this morning. Article ADC condemned Tambuwal's arrest, say EFCC now political tool, and riders stop sulking over opposition probes. We are non-partisan, EFCC replies ADC as EFCC grants ex-Sokoto governor bail. Page 6 of the Vanguard has that story. This one, VP Shetima to investors. It's time to invest in Nigeria, page 10. And Showore was at the NYC headquarters yesterday alongside the lawyer representing the core member, Oshe Ogwamaye. And as captioned by the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, it says, Showore leads protest to NYC headquarters over unjust treatment of core member. The very last newspaper I have before me this morning, it's about the Nigerian Tribune, and it says Ibom Air incident, NBA, Labour Party, others flay treatment of female passenger, and two riders under that caption. Aviation experts weigh in on unruly behaviors at airport. Police receive petition from NCAA on Kwam1. IGP directs Airport Police Command to begin investigation. Moving away from that, Tinubu is my friend of 22 years. I have no apologies for supporting him. Charles Soludo.
People are taking sides.
You say what?
People are taking sides.
People are taking more people
Across political divides.
We should expect more of that, actually. Okay, this is like a health tip now for everyone listening. Fast walking key to longevity, cuts mortality risk by 20%. Study has shown that. That story is found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. That means for those
Brisk
of us
walking.
brisk
Yeah.
walking,
It is
it's a
good.
key
It
to
is
longevity.
healthy.
Okay, and the very last story I'll be taking on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this Wednesday morning says that Tambuwal released on bail as EFCC counters ADC PDP. Okay, it's from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. Comrade Adeja Chokpe, I don't even know where to start this. But let's just start
with the aviation drama.
With the aviation drama, that is it. That is the most trending blockbuster.
It's a blockbuster. I tell you,
Blockbuster.
it is a blockbuster.
Now, yesterday we spoke extensively about what is good for the goose is good for the, how did they say it now? Now, we were talking about the fact that the lady, Comfort Emerson, was involved in a kind of a tussle with the officials of the Ibom Air. This happened over the weekend, and by Monday morning, she appeared in court, and there was a pronouncement made that she was to be remanded in prison, Kirikiri prison, until October 6th. And we spoke on this platform yesterday saying that why the speedy trial given to her when somebody did something more
bordering on terrorism.
And that person is still a free man today. And we talked about the fact that the NCAA, that is to our program yesterday, and he absolved NCAA from whatever trial that Comfort went through on Monday morning. Let's take a listen at the man saying that.
Well, it feels a little bit sad to be sitting here again to discuss this kind of issue over something that, a simple compliance could have resolved aboard that aircraft. There is no comparisons here, not necessary, absolutely. It's not a case of oranges and oranges. In the Kwamwan incident, the airline did not activate its right to take the passenger to court. So the CAA did what it's supposed to do by petitioning the relevant authorities to prosecute the passenger. In the Ibom Air incident, maybe because, their staff has been assaulted, the airline immediately activated its right to take up the matter, and then it went to court. So the CAA is not involved in the case of the Ibom Air passenger. Remember that in the Kwamwan case, the CAA issued an advisory to AON, the operators, to ban the passenger. Meanwhile, I need to correct this impression. I keep saying 6 months. We did update that information and say that the ban on Kwamwan was now indefinite pending outcome of the investigation. So the 6 months narrative in some of the videos of the assault made this decision by themselves. So the CA is not involved in this. Basically, at the end of the day, in both cases, what the takeaway lessons from this is that, look, the system is being tested, and there's enough blame, to go around everybody, fan ABSEC, cabin crew, passengers. But, as with every issue, we must treat the root cause of issues. Unruly behavior is not acceptable anywhere in the world, no matter the provocation. That's for starters. The regulations are not sentiment-based. Those rules are there for the safety of every passenger. Secondly, you must always obey cabin crew when you are aboard an airline. You don't make the rules for safety in aviation. So when you are asked to do a thing, in this particular case, other passengers on board that aircraft are said to have been the ones who seized this passenger's phone and turned it off. When you are flying with other passengers, their safety and their concerns also matter. Your rights stop where theirs begin, right? There are passengers who, when the announcement has been made, turn off your phones. They feel very uncomfortable and unsafe to see the person next seat not turning off that phone. So the other passengers were made to feel very uncomfortable, and this entire situation was very avoidable because when you turn off your phone, it's only for a few minutes. You can turn it back on mid-air, and so this was quite avoidable, but we'll see what the courts say about it.
the Director of Consumer Affairs at the NCAA, Mr. Michael Achimugo, absolving the NCAA of whatever befell Comfort Emerson at the court. But let me read the court judgment. Emerson was arraigned before the court, Magistrate Court, Lagos. It was actually Court 17 in Ogba, Ikeja. And I'm looking at the judgment, five count charges. The first one, that you, Comfort Bob, female, on the 10th day of August 2025 at about 14:30 hours while on board Ibom aircraft number 5N parked at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, in the Ikeja Magisterial District, did behave in an unruly and disorderly manner by shouting on top of your voice, abusing and assaulting the flight crew, and refusing to disembark from the aircraft after landing, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 4.1, subsection A, and punishable under Section 4.2 of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria by Law 2005. The second count, that you, Comfort Bob, on the same date, time and place in the aforementioned magisterial district, did assault one Juliana Edward by slapping and hitting her cheeks with your right hand, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 170, subsection 1AB, and punishable under Section 172 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State of Nigeria, 2015. The third count, that you, Comfort Bob, female, on the same date and place at about 14:50 hours in the aforementioned magisterial district, did assault one Jokpeme Shagun, female, by hitting her face with your slippers, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 170, subsection 1, A and B, and punishable under. I mean, it went on and on like that. And at the end of the whole thing, she was to be remanded in custody, Kirikiri custody, until October 6th. But lo and behold, this morning, there is this breaking news coming from the Twitter handle of the Honorable Minister of Aviation. Let me read it out now. Now, this is directly from the Twitter handle of the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, SAN. Now, press statement, decision to withdraw criminal complaint against Miss Comfort Emerson and to address related matters. In the last 48 hours, I have been in consultation with critical stakeholders in the aviation sector and those involved in the unfortunate incident regarding the unruly behaviors of certain individuals at our airport of recent. Though regrettable, we think valuable lessons have been learnt by all sides to these incidents, and airport security protocol especially have been well highlighted for the traveling public. If nothing at all, the episodes have undoubtedly helped to raise public awareness about appropriate conduct within the aviation space. Number 3, as highlighted in my previous statement on the last two incidents, clear wrongs were committed by both the offending passengers and staff of the airlines involved from all the evidence available to us and those available to the public. It is clear that all the actors involved cannot continue to highlight the injury or injustice done to them without acknowledging their own equal culpability. Number 5, therefore, after reviewing the entire incident, including appeals made by well-meaning individuals and remorse shown by the actors, the following decisions have been reached. Now, the case of Ibom Air and Miss Comfort Emerson. Okay, the first one. In the case of the unruly passenger Miss Comfort Emerson on the Ibom Airline on Sunday, the 10th of August 2025, I have conferred with Ibom Airline to withdraw the complaint against her today. When the police took her statement in presence of our lawyer, she exhibited great remorse for her conduct. B. Subsequent to the withdrawal of the complaint by the complainant, the CP of Airports Command and the police prosecutor will immediately take the remaining steps to facilitate our release from Kirikiri prisons within this week. C. I have also conferred with the leadership of the Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, and I've appealed to them to lift the lifetime flying ban imposed on R, to which they agreed. The details of the resolution will be made public by the AON subsequently. Now moving to the case of Kwamwan and Value Jet. All this I'm reading is from the Twitter handle of the Aviation Minister, Festus Keyamo, which was put up an hour ago. In the case of Value Jet and Wasiu Ayinde Marshal Kwamwan, in the case of Kwamwan, the NCAA is to reduce its flight ban to a 1-month period. FAAN will also work with the music star with a view to engaging him as an ambassador for proper airport security protocol going forward.
Isn't that beautiful?
The second one, having publicly demonstrated penitence, the NCAA is also to withdraw its criminal complaints against Kwamwan, earlier lodged with the police. F now. In the case of Captain Oluranti Ogoyi, which is the pilot, and the co-pilot, First Officer Ivan Oloba of ValueJet, the NCAA is to restore their licenses after the same period of 1-month ban after undergoing some mandatory professional reappraisal. The details will be announced by NCAA. Airline operators, aviation, and other government agencies. I have directed all relevant aviation agencies in collaboration with other complementary agencies outside aviation to immediately begin a retreat next week to properly retrain and prepare our aviation security personnel on how to deal with errant and disruptive passengers and how to de-escalate potentially explosive situations. The retreat will be fully covered by the press with the opportunity to ask all the relevant questions. The airlines will also have their own session when the conduct and attitude of their staff towards members of the traveling public will be in full focus. Now, final comment. These above decisions were taken by government and the airline operators purely on compassionate grounds, as government will never pander to base sentiment, politically motivated views, or warped legal opinions when clear encroachment of our laws are involved. We are also sending a clear message that we take safety and security in the aviation sector very seriously, and we have decided to draw a line after these clemencies. Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, CON FCIARB UK, the Honorable Minister of Aviation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We should give the Honorable Minister a standing ovation. He has.
Comrade Ayọ̀dèjì Ajíṣọpẹ́.
He has. We probably should nominate him for Nobel.
But you know the funny thing now. Immediately when the news of Comfort Emerson being arraigned at the court and being sent to Kirikiri prison, Nigerians started reacting. I remember Peter Obi reacted, Femi Falana reacted. A lot of Nigerians, and notable Nigerians, reacted and said, this is a double standard judgment. Somebody is being set free, maybe just put on 6-month ban in his house, and somebody is in Kirikiri prison. And just last night, we heard that the fact that the IGP has eventually responded to the petition being sent to them by NCAA.
The question is, the NCAA, at the airport, there is an airport command of the police.
The police, yes.
So why did they write to Abuja? Why didn't they lodge the complaint against the man there that minute and hour as it was lodged? I mean, so on Monday, I told somebody on air live, I said, look, this one that occurred yesterday, which was Sunday, the girl, I said, from my own conspiracy theory approach, the matter was apparently staged.
Apparently staged, I don't understand.
I mean, all these things, the whole thing is, there must be a counter strike an error has been committed.
But some messages coming in now saying that is it not a signal that not all animals are equal? Some animals are more equal because now that just yesterday we heard the news that the IGP was about to step in, and this morning the Honorable Minister of Aviation came out and say, okay, let all bygones be bygones.
No, all of that will have been settled.
And now making Kwamwan an ambassador.
Yes, that is reward.
Of aviation behavior.
That is reward.
Somebody, I don't want to, let me just
that is reward for, for representing the
this is somebody that blocked
that
movement.
Was tantamount to an act of terror.
Act of terrorism and plain hijacking.
He's rewarded with so you can now call him K1 the ultimate
the ambassador, the honorable ambassador.
Ambassador.
Now I'm putting the same question that I asked you earlier on. So if somebody now does the same thing, there's likelihood that he becomes an ambassador too. That if he's somebody who,
yes, I mean nobody ever.
And you must know, Mr. President. You must know Tinubu before you can qualify for that.
So
but this is drama. This is a blockbuster drama, honestly.
It is a blockbuster. It is a blockbuster.
So how do you feel Nigerians will accept this judgment or this statement coming from the aviation minister?
Well, it was an
representing the federal government on
it was an intra-class thing, and then people outside the upper echelon wanted to capitalize on it and turn it into an inter-class thing quickly. The political class found a resolution. So this will not go out of control.
You said what?
That was management. That was damage control.
Damage control.
That was damage control.
Okay, and
it was going to get. It had already gotten to the president. You understand? They had to quickly step in and do damage control.
Damage control. Is that what you call it?
That's what it is. It's political damage control.
Okay. Let's move to another story now. I think the aviation story has come to rest now with what has come out of the day.
Yes,
so,
one day, one drama.
One day, one drama. Now, another drama unfolded yesterday when Omoyele Sowore and the lawyer representing the core member, Oshi Ogumaye, went to the NYSC headquarters. Member who did a viral video some months ago talking about the hardship in the land. I'm trying to look for that clip that went viral that time that put the little girl into trouble. Okay, I think I've been able to find it. Let me play so that we can all listen to what she actually said that landed her in the trouble she's facing at the moment. This is a core member, Rita Oshi Ogwamaye.
I genuinely feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like if a lot of Nigerians come out and start speaking on what we are actually going through, then maybe changes will be made in the government. Don't you guys think? And this video, I just want to say to our president, I don't know if there have been any other president that is terrible, but you are such a terrible president. It is so hard. So I'm coming from the supermarket where I went to get foodstuffs, and everything has gone up again. It's just like every single week prices increase. I want to know, what is the government doing about this increment? Is there going to be a particular time where prices will stop going up? Is there going to be a particular time where things are going to go back? Guys, why am I going to get a crate of egg and they're telling me it is 6.5? It doesn't make any sense that egg will cost 6.5. Like, I literally can't remember when egg used to cost 800. And I'm so overwhelmed because this is literally my first time doing this adulthood thing alone. This is my first time moving out of my family house. This is my first time living by myself. And not just that, after I left the supermarket and I got home, my security is bringing NEPA bill, and NEPA bill has gone up by 2 times. Like, it's insane. I can't keep up with these bills. I am so overwhelmed and I'm so exhausted. Every single money that I have been making, I'm using it to pay bills. I don't even get to live properly. The craziest thing was, you want to go out to a certain location with your friends, and Uber is about 25,000. Like, even Uber, that we can't even take Uber. It is crazy. Like, why are things so expensive? And let's not even Lagos stinks. Lagos smells like shit. If you say, okay, I want to take a walk, I'm depressed, let me just take a walk, you can't even take a walk. Like, the place smells like crazy. Why does an entire state smell like this? And what is the government doing about the bad smell? Everything is just so overwhelming. You want to start up a business, and now you have to take a loan to start up a business, and the loan, you don't even know if you can actually repay it, because in the business, I don't know, I'm just so tired. Like, why is no one saying anything about it? Being an NYSC copper, there's nothing beneficial about this whole NYSC thing. The money I spend on transportation is just more than the alawi the government gives me. Like, it doesn't, I can't keep up. Like, I'm so tired of this bill and I can't keep up. I am overwhelmed and I'm tired, I'm exhausted. It's too much, and I wish that we would start calling the government out heads on. For example, Tinubu, you are a terrible president. Like, what are you doing to help us? What are you doing to help the economy? You are so terrible. I'm so sick and tired of Nigerians acting like we are strong, and they say, oh, Nigerians, we are actually very strong. Oh, no matter how much they increase things, we still chest it. No, it is not cute. We are cowards. That is a cowardly behavior. You don't stand to ask people, oh, why is this expensive? For example, MTN, what the going on? Literally, I spend over like 20,000 on data in a week, and I'm not even joking. 1.5 data cannot even last me for an entire day. I have to do 1.5 like 2 times a day, which is like 3,000 a day. It is too much. Like, what are you guys doing about it? Like, what is happening? I'm tired of paying bills. I feel like I don't have anything. I feel like I don't have any achievement to call my own. Every single time that I work hard, I'm spending it back in the economy to pay bills, and I wasn't created to pay bills. I'm just really tired, and I just want our money to count for something. And when is the government going to actually start working? Because Nigerians are so classist. Everybody now wants to behave as if they are rich. Everybody is faking wealth, but we are ending up being poor because we are struggling so hard to look rich. We're ending up being poor. So I need us as Nigerians to please start calling the government out. We should be tired of this by now. We need to call the government out. Prices need to start one place. Food needs to start one place. The economy needs to start one place. Like, we are tired. It's just too much. The more you work hard to achieve something, the higher it gets. The dream car that I was saving money for has literally gone double. I can't even afford it anymore. Instead, I'm going to use my money to buy, to just keep paying bills. And now house rent is double. Like, I am so sick and I'm so tired of this. And I really need the government to intervene because I am so overwhelmed.
All right, the voice of Kopa Oshi Rita Guamaye some months ago that went viral, and that seems to be the viral video that landed in Wahala today. Let's analyze what she actually said.
What I see, the totality of what I see here is that there's a social crusader in her. But they are expressions of our own personal experiences, which is not limited to her. She's just symbolic of our generation, the challenges they face. And the challenges are not even peculiar to that generation alone. So she sounded like a social crusader, and, and she thought she should put it out there, and it sounded very coherent. At the end of it, she said, let prices stand in one place. Let prices stand. How can prices be galloping? You understand?
Yes.
It was just, and she was very coherent and very, very logical. I don't know how many people listen to the entire thing like this, but she felt overwhelmed.
But she said there was another video she did a day after. She said few hours after uploading that on her social media, and our LI called her and instructed her to delete that nonsense. According to, I just didn't want to play it to that level. She did another video when she said addressed the press. He went along with the lawyer representing this lady.
There's penalty. You know, our service was delayed or something.
I delayed for 2 months, and our certificate being withheld. That was why Omoyele Sowore went on a protest to the NYC Secretariat.
And they didn't notify her.
They didn't notify her
until she went there.
And what NYC is saying is that she failed to do her biometrics.
For what?
For in April.
Okay.
But the lawyer in this clip I'm about to play did say that she attended that biometrics in April, but she was denied to take part in the biometrics that occurred. Let's listen to the voice of Sowore.
Let's assume that she failed outrightly to bear the biometrics. It simply means she didn't collect a stipend for that month. Isn't that enough penalty?
When I was 7, I think you need to miss your biometrics for 3 times for you to be
taking up the
for you to even get an extension. Let's listen to Omoyele Sowore yesterday at the venue.
We are here on behalf of the youth corps member, popularly known as Rai, who completed a service but was denied of a discharge certificate by the NYC. Our goal here was actually to come and collect on her behalf the discharge certificate. But unfortunately, we went to the floor of the Director General of NYC. He was absent from his desk. They claim that he's attending an orientation camp today somewhere in Nigeria. So instead we submitted the letter. You can see our very powerful. He had already crafted a letter written to the DG, who is the highest authority as far as the NYC is concerned, asking him to release a discharge certificate, having completed it. We must provide a historical information to you that the NYC has been known over the years to seize discharge certificate of people who are politically very vibrant during their service years. The most popular one was of Bamidele Aturu, who is now late, who refused to shake hands with a military dictator in Niger State. I think it was in the 80s. Second was Femi Falana, whose NYC discharge certificate was seized. It took him 18 years. In fact, it took the Oputa panel to order the Nigerian government to release it to him. Yours faithfully mine was also seized in 1996 in Yola and has not been released till today. And there has been several cases of politically motivated seizure of NYC certificate. It's our position that should end immediately. That anybody who is serving the nation can't be prevented from maintaining a political opinion, especially under civilian rule. So the fourth person is, of course, this very courageous lady whose certificate has now been seized under the pretense of not fulfilling one of the biometric clearances for April. That was after we accompanied her to her LGI office, as you guys have reported in the past. So that's why we are here today. That's why we came here today.
All right, Mr. Sowore, some would say in spite of what has happened, I mean, what she did is in public glare. They still lean towards the fact that she still flouted NYSC rules and directives. I mean, it's in the NYSC bylaws that certain acts should not be done while in service. How would you respond?
No, as you all are aware, the NYSC has come out and stated her crime, supposedly, which was that she did not do biometric. They did not accuse her of anything else. But we know that this is not what she did wrong. Because generally, even when it comes to clearance, NYSC is very lax. I think they tell people in camp that it is when you miss 3 clearances that you are in trouble, not when you miss 1. So this is clearly retaliation for her speaking against the hardship under the Tinubu regime. We all know that, yes.
Well, a follow-up statement by the NYSC also said it has absolutely nothing to do with that. I think, in fact, they mentioned something about delay in the printout of certificates and it affecting around 40 persons or thereabouts.
Well, if there is a delay in the printout of her certificates, that will not stop them from providing her with certificate. If there's a delay, they can give her a temporary certificate pending the time the printer's devil has been driven away from the printer. But that's not the reason. What we know, because I met the the DG here before, personally, after I escorted her to Lagos. And I warned him against this. But you know, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's probably, if you've met the DG before, you would think he's the nicest human being in this world. He's very, very composed person. He doesn't look it. But when people come to power in Nigeria, don't trust them. It's that power that becomes their character. And, absolute power is something that is native to Nigeria.
Comrade, that was the voice of Omoyele Sowore yesterday at the headquarters of the NYSC. But now let's listen to the voice of the lawyer representing the core member now. That is Barrister Inibehe.
The first point I want to place on record is that what is issued to a corps member upon completion of the mandatory 1-year national service is certificate of national service, not certificate of presidential service, not certificate of governmental service. It is intentionally crafted by the NYSC Act as certificate of national service, meaning service to the nation, service to the country. What that implies is that when you enroll for the NYSC, you are offering yourself in service of your nation, not in service of your president. So a core member is not an employee of the president.
Or the DG.
A core member is not even an employee of the DG of the NYSC. And I have also stated clearly that a core member is neither a civil servant nor a public servant. If you look at the NYSC Act, what has been done in the case of Rita Ogwamaye, popularly known as Raye, is again another demonstration of the abuse of state institutions in our country. Recall that this matter started in March when she said that, or referred to the president as terrible. An opinion that millions of Nigerians are in agreement with, including me who is talking to you. I will not be surprised, all of you in the media, you are also facing the challenges that the country is going through. But assuming that our opinion wasn't even factually correct, which I submit is correct, she's entitled to it. You cannot say because she has an opinion about how the governance of our country is, therefore you are going to go after her because she's wearing khaki to save Nigeria. Now, in March, the persecution started. They threatened her. They summoned her. When we intervened, they backtracked. But we knew it was just for a while. What happened was that on the 7th of April, Raye went to a local government, Etiosa, presented herself for clearance before the LGI, the local government inspector, one Mrs. Veronica Abela. Initially, the LGI said, go and join the queue. She was on the queue, it got to her turn. She asked her, go back, go to the back. Go and join the queue again. She obeyed. This kept happening. Apparently, the woman could not tell her why she did not want to clear her. Raye persisted, kept pressing, kept begging, Madam, why am I not being cleared? It was until about 6 hours after she has been delayed, after she has been indignified, after she has been verbally assaulted, that Mrs. Veronica Abela opened up to her that I cannot clear you. In fact, let me also disclose to Nigeria that as I'm talking to you, Raye's file, every corps member has a file, which is deposited in a particular place. When they are going for their passing or their final exit from the scheme, they go with a copy of their file. Raye could not find her file. She messaged the LGI. I have seen the message, asking the woman, Madam, please, I have not found my file. The woman now called her to tell her, no need bothering. She has custody of her file. So she refused to clear her. Contrary to the misleading statement by the NYSC that she did not present herself, she did not show up. And then ordered her to get out, to leave. She left. On the 11th of April, Raye went back to Mrs. Veronica Abela's office, pleading that, please clear me, let me undergo my biometric so I can leave. Of course, the woman made it clear to her that, look, you know what is going on, but sorry, I don't have personal issues with you, but unfortunately, clearance is over for April. Now, in August, they're now telling us the reason why she has not been issued with a certificate of national service is because she did not clear. It took her crying out to Nigerians for her to even know officially why a certificate has not been issued to her. Assuming that this is a legitimate disciplinary action, how come that this decision was not communicated to her? How come that she had to read on the social media handles of the NYSC that a certificate is being withheld purportedly because she did not undergo clearance? This is an act of victimization. This is intended, and let me be clear, there's the reason why they are doing this. It is scapegoating. They are using riot to tell Nigerians, other Nigerians who are serving, that look, the day you complain about the hunger that you are going through, about the situation of the country, this is what is going to happen to you. They are also afraid because it took Riot's intervention partly to force them to increase the allowance of corps members. Yes. So they are now scared that if we don't deal with Riot, other corps members will continue to speak out. Yes. That is what this is about. So that message should be understood clearly. We have submitted a letter today, duly acknowledged, to the DG of the NYC. You can see the endorsement stamp today being the 12th of August, demanding that two things be done immediately. First, we are asking that the DG should immediately cause the reversal of the unlawful 2-month extension that has been imposed on her. Secondly, that a certificate of national service should be issued to her. You cannot be criminalizing or seeking to stigmatize or punish somebody for saving her country. This lady, as I speak to you, is struggling to come to terms with what is happening. She is dealing with severe trauma as I speak to you. She has even gone into isolation as I'm talking to you. She has gone into isolation because she feels that our country has betrayed her. I went through the NYSC scheme 1 year after my service. The only time I have had cause to look at my certificate was the time it was issued to me. I knew I would not need it to apply for a job. If I run for president today, our courts have said you don't need NYSC certificate. You have politicians who are holding very high positions that have not served the NYSC.
They didn't even go to
the
school.
people like Ryan, in fact, you don't even need to be a graduate. Cite the case of Buhari. Supreme Court has made it clear. You don't even need to be a graduate. The people like Ryan, who left Cross River State, where she's from, came to Lagos, sacrificed herself at time to serve Nigeria for 1 year. The reward she's getting is this very vicious, wicked, dastardly, malicious and illegal action that has been meted on her. So we condemn this in the strongest possible terms. We enjoin Nigerians to join us in deprecating what has happened. Because who is going to be next? They will target other people. And that is why, for us, it is always about the principle that we have to oppose this so that they don't continue to repeat it. Thank you.
The voice of the barrister representing the core member Rita Ugwamaye. His name is Barrister Enibehe. Now, you listen to Omoyele Sowore initially, then you listen to the voice of the lawyer representing the core member. Now, let's talk about this. I mean, I deliberately, because it was lengthy, I deliberately wanted the man to explain what actually happened during the April biometrics.
Yeah, you see, this is something that we have all gone through. All these tactics, you see, you can't get it ratified through it's always illegal. Look at Bamidele Aturu and all of that. But I think she didn't comply with the biometrics in April. Let's assume she did not present herself. Okay, the penalty was that she wouldn't be paid. And of course, the rule even says you will not be paid if you have missed 3.
No, that you will have an extension of service after missing 3 consecutively.
So, if you don't do biometrics, you won't be paid. It's like, it is clearance anyway. It is called clearance process. So she was not paid. So if she was now not paid for that, for not getting clearance for herself, she had been punished.
That was the accusation of NYSC. But we listened to what the lawyer said, saying she actually appeared for the clearance, for the biometrics.
That is even assuming, as they say, without considering that she presented herself. The penalty had been imposed on her by herself because she wouldn't get paid for that month. So, why on the basis of that, for which she had been punished, you now apply a second punishment, a more severe punishment of extension of 2 months? It is illogical. It defies logic and rationality. But of course, we all know that, you know, they will orchestrate this the machinery. They know they were waiting for her. You know, when the outcry was much.
The outcry was in March when she came out with
so
the viral
NYSC piped low.
Our next biometrics was April, so they waited for her.
So they need to put a trap. Understand? They set a trap. And no matter how illogical, but they just had to find a reason to wait for her at the tail end of the transaction.
Is that a good way of doing things? Looking at the narratives of the lawyer.
It is.
Of what played out. They kept on sending her back to the queue until that day was over.
That is the machinery of government when they want to activate it against an individual.
I'm going back to that question. What was her crime? What everything she said.
Her crime was that she expressed herself, and put it on the internet, and it went and they panicked. I do not know why the NYC panicked, especially that LIE. Apparently, it must have been her own bosses that prompted her, because the girl was serving in that local government.
Etiosa.
So the very first command to Ameni is the LIE. So, of course, our bosses just pushed it to her. But this is a national institution. You know, it could have just gone like that. Just leave it. Let it ride. Look at what happened in Edo. When Mrs. Tinubu, Remi Tinubu is their mother, those children was saying, no, it's your own mother.
I remember that.
They tactically managed it, and that was the tension. Because the institutions are panicked that written letters suspending
Well,
people.
is this case not going to be sending wrong signals to the global community?
Which global community? Which global community?
I mean,
they know that this is the way we do. Look,
it will come to them as a surprise.
That is how, even elsewhere in the world, that is where machinery of government. Look at the way Trump is using the machinery of government to squeeze whoever is an adversary. It depends on who you are. We do it regularly here. If it is the machinery of government now, they use to resolve the Kwan value jet. They just do some manipulations.
Machinery of government.
It's machinery. They just activate it, and it will still roll and run over anything in its way.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to look at the title given to Kwamwan again. Let me just look at. I'm trying to see if I can, so that next time we see or we mention the name of King Wase Ayinde Marshal Kwamwan, you need to add the name ambassador to that. Well, comrade, our time is fast spent. Thank you very much for being a part. It's been a very exciting session with you this morning. Though there are some other stories I would have loved us to look at, but the time is up now. I mean, the core member and